Means it's starting time.
Take one.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Podcast time. We will have others joining us potentially through this podcast, but we are going to begin. Sure. Myself, Maddie, Miss Monique, first time on the podcast. Say hey to Miss Monique. Samantha up here in the corner. We have JD2, JD3, and JD3's mama, Christy. All right, so podcast today is about leading us into Thanksgiving, and I just wanted to bring you all in here and talk about how thankful you are for certain things in your life.
Hop on in, Sam.
Come on in, Sam. Come grab a seat.
Late arrival, like always.
and Samantha's here on time.
I was here early.
That is not normal. Samantha's normally the late person. True story. We did peer reviews when it's probably been
We're so thankful for you, Samantha.
6 months ago or so. We did peer reviews, and Samantha is such an incredible worker that I didn't even notice that she was never on time to work. And then in the peer review, not never, sometime, many days in the week, Samantha wasn't on time
How
to work.
often are you the last
And
person?
then through peer review, I didn't even notice that until everybody, all of her peers said, and herself said that was her weakness, was her ability to be on time to things, which then made me go, wow, I didn't notice that was a thing. And now I notice it all the time and say, Samantha, you running late today? Let's talk about Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving, obviously. Sim, you love Thanksgiving. And we're going to have to share mics. We'll pass them around as people want an opportunity to talk. But Thanksgiving is a special day for me because it feels almost like Christmas minus all of the presents and all of the commercialization of Christmas. So you just get a day to hang out with your family, to eat food, to watch some football, and to just truly sit around and talk about how thankful you are for life, for your blessings in life. So let's talk about not Thanksgiving as the day, but Thanksgiving as the overflow of our heart, what we have to be thankful for. I think obviously one of those is JD3 sitting here with us.
Right.
Super huge blessing and incredible gift from God that we are very thankful that he is here, and very thankful for the way that he's staring at me right now, like staring into my soul, and very thankful that he is healthy and thriving the way that he is. So that's an easy one for us, I think. Caleb, when I asked Caleb, I texted him yesterday because I was kind of prepping for a sermon and said, Caleb, what are you thankful for? And Caleb's answer was,
Shout out to my girlfriend. Christmas miracle.
I love
Make
it.
sure you pop a little picture of her.
No, don't do that.
All of us pointing to her.
It's a Christmas
Johnny, I
miracle.
texted you yesterday because you were one, so grab the mic, pull it over to you. Sorry if that sounds bad. Tell them what you said your answer was, you're thankful for.
I said God's timing. So there was, a lot of different things with that, with Christy's infertility and JD3's diagnosis being him being here and it being something that could be done, but it wasn't something that could be done, 9 months ago or something like that.
Or he would have never been diagnosed because they weren't even running that test yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in my life that I look back and like, man, that was perfect timing. We say perfect timing, but that was, God's timing. So
God's timing.
even me working here and stuff like that. So
God's timing. What is the matter, little boy? Somebody else. Anybody else? Feel free. We'll move the mic around. Somebody have something that they're thankful for.
I'll go.
Okay. That's all we got.
It's good. I am thankful for a lot of things in my life, but I think one of the biggest things right now is all the godly women in my life, and specifically the women in this office. It's awesome to have people just to, when you're having an off day, just to speak truth into you. And yeah, I love that. I'm very thankful to have y'all.
Blow it up. Blow it up.
But, oh.
I don't know if you heard this or not, Samantha, but one of the guys from New Direction was on the radio yesterday. Did you hear this? Did you hear this story?
I did not.
A guy from New Direction was on the radio yesterday, and I haven't heard it. I didn't hear it, but somebody called me and told me, hey, are you listening to this? I think it was like 94.5, like whatever the local talk radio station is. And he was on the radio, and he was saying how his whole life he's never had family, never felt loved, and said that he came to this church. And the whole interview was about him coming to this church.
Wow,
He said how he came to this church, how he, how people just, wrapping their arms around him and loving him and showing him, the love of
Y'all
God.
gonna get me crying on the podcast.
And so,
wow.
So he's literally on the radio telling all of Myrtle Beach about how this church has made him feel like family, and he's never had family before. And so that's kudos to you and your ministry and
That's
what you guys have
incredible.
done.
Yeah,
So
that's
you.
incredible.
Thank you. That's awesome. Sim?
Yeah. I'm thankful that God's best is better than my best.
Yeah.
Even like prayers that. Just some things that me and my wife have been praying about this past year, and we thought that God had already answered prayers, and then God comes in again and is able to answer prayers in a way that we could have never imagined. So to me, that was really cool. Just different circumstances in our lives that specifically hers, and the way God's able to meet needs and do something that is more than like abundant, obvious God moments, to where God's answering prayers in a way that's more than we could ask or think, just like the Bible says. Yeah. But when you see it for yourself, and it's not just a story, or when you see it in your life, it just hits a little different, So like I was singing on Sunday, I trust in God, and I sought the Lord, and He heard and He answered. On Sunday, that song just hit a little different than it has in the past, So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for my wife, my family. I'm thankful my dad's still here. Thankful for this little guy. And I really am thankful that I'm a part of a family here at work. I have a lot of connections outside of our church with people on staff at church, and they don't have this, and it makes me more thankful for what we have here as a staff. Like you said, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. I love to be thankful and what this holiday means. It's hard to be filled with a lot of other emotions and things in life when you are filled with gratitude and thankfulness. And so for me, I love this holiday.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that worship leader coming out in them. Tell me what you're thankful for. No problem at all. Miss Monique?
Yeah, I definitely second that. I'm grateful. I'll put my husband first. I'm so grateful for him.
Yeah.
He's my best friend, and I love doing life with him. I'm grateful for provision, but what I found out in this last season was that provision is not financial. Provision is not, what your bank account looks like or the things that we're praying for. It's all about God. I'm one of those that won't put up my Christmas decorations until I know that, we're celebrate this season, that we're grateful for this. Not that I don't want to put my Christmas tree up, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. Can I have both? I just and your wife puts up some beautiful decorations for sure. She's got a couple of trees, like 5 trees she put up.
Maybe more.
All right, I was trying not to exaggerate, but yeah, I love that God is the provision, and to be grateful for everything that He provides just because it's Him.
Amen.
So,
Ladies, either one of you two? Which one? Let's go.
I will. Well, obviously, I'm thankful for this guy next to me, and the kid behind the camera,
Yeah.
and the 2 kids that are still in school.
Yeah.
And these, obviously, the staff and what we have here. But I honestly want to bring it more to a health thing, I am thankful for women doctors in my life that will actually take time to listen and care for me and get me the right meds for my anxiety. And there's a lot of doctors out there that could care less about that would just write the script and move on and not take the time to actually talk to you and figure out really what's going on in your life. So I am just super thankful for all of the healthcare workers in my life that have gotten me through a tough season. Yeah.
Yep. Mental, physical, spiritual healthcare workers. We're thankful for you all. It's amazing how in seasons when you need people in your life, God always puts the right people there. It's very amazing. Christy, you got to talk into the mic.
Sorry, JD3 is struggling through his first podcast.
Can you see her? You need to move it out of her face. You can? Okay.
Man, I was going to say a lot of things that everyone else here said, but I spoke on this recently. I really just think that a lot of times I'm grateful for a lot of things, but I'm also grateful for the things that I don't even realize that I should be grateful for until it hits you. It's almost like those unexpected gifts that I talked about, you know, where to God it's not unexpected, but to you may not be expecting it the way it happens, but it does. And so obviously the whole story with our son, I mean, most recently, you know, with health things with my family, you know, my niece, what she's going through, and then what my dad went through earlier this year with his stroke. And it was a really scary time, but like, you know, Simeon said, like, man, just so grateful that he's still here and he was able to hold my son, and you know, he may not have been here. So those moments, those big moments, but then also all the small things like watching him grow, and you know, the unexpected like things that come along with seeing a baby grow. There's
And
just
so you
many
know,
things.
he's not crying. He just wants somebody to look at him.
He's just fussy.
Talkative like his dad.
Yeah.
And dramatic like his daddy, too. How about good looking? And good looking. Oh, no.
Move on.
I'll move on. I love Thanksgiving. I have so much to be thankful for. I am so thankful for. I think in ministry, oftentimes you don't understand how incredible what God has done inside of you or through you or with you actually is, and I don't think we ever will until we get to heaven one day. But it's really, I'm very thankful that God is using our family, our story, our lives. Very thankful for that. I'm very thankful for health in general. I'm very thankful for the health of my family. I'm very thankful for provision. I'm very thankful for friendships. I'm very thankful for just all that God has been doing in our lives. And what I have found is in difficult seasons, if you'll take those seasons and learn in those seasons, you will find a reason to be thankful in those seasons. And tough financial seasons in your life, if you will learn in those seasons, you will find a way to be thankful for the lessons that you've learned inside of those tough financial seasons. Tough spiritual seasons, dry spiritual seasons. If you'll find a way to say, okay, God, what are you trying to teach me here? You will find yourself being thankful for those seasons, because it makes the seasons of abundance even more beautiful. It makes the seasons of rain so much more powerful when there's seasons of drought. And so I think, for me, one of the things I just am trying my best to do is in every season and everything that we're going through is saying, okay, what God, what are you trying to teach me right here? Let me learn so that I can make sure that that after I'm finished with this, I have a reason to, or in the middle of it, but ultimately when I'm finished with it, I have a reason to be thankful and a reason to celebrate and praise from what you've done. So I don't think many people oftentimes view difficult seasons like that, and so it's always a struggle inside of our lives because we see the effect it's having on us right now in this moment rather than the larger scheme of life and saying, okay, how is this going to to benefit me long term. JD3 doing what JD3 does. He just steals the show everywhere he goes.
Always so sleepy.
With Thanksgiving, obviously, Sim and Samantha, both of you guys worship leaders, and with Thanksgiving comes obviously celebratory praise, worship, things of that nature that are attached to Thanksgiving. So, like, when you're up there worshiping, for me, my go-to is I have so many insecurities in my life that my go-to praise is, God, I cannot believe you're using someone like me. And I break and cry and weep and am astonished that God uses someone like me. What's your go-to, like, worshipful praise, like to Him, like Thanksgiving as you're in moments like that? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think for me, it's, anytime I sing about the goodness of God, I think about a lot of those things, God, you're good in spite of me. God, I don't know how you could be good to me because of, me. And, but also, anytime we sing goodness of God or gratitude or trust in God or all these, songs that are popular right now, that's where my mind goes, is like, all my life you've truly been faithful, and I've seen it, and that's, to me, that's like my go-to. The easiest place for me to get lost in worship is when I start thinking about the goodness and the faithfulness of God, to me.
Man, what a great answer, because that's exactly what I was going to say. It is the easiest place to pull from, because He has been so good to me, and it's so easy to think back of all the places that I've been, and God's hand of protection in my life. Yeah, He has been so good to me. So it's easy to get lost in that, and it's not about us when we're up there, right? It's like less of me, make me disappear, and you just shine through. And I find myself saying that too, like, I can't believe that I get to do this. I used to sing out in the world, and now I get to use the gifts that He's given me to worship Him and to pour back into His people, and it's incredible. I'm so thankful.
Yeah. Dang.
I know. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Just crying.
Normally, Samantha's the happy, giddy. We don't get this side of her much. So, yeah, I feel that same pull in worship. I'm shocked that God could use someone like me. I am. It's amazing that His, not only His, I mean, the truth is, I know my life. Say hey to me. It's Cammy. I know my
Cammy on
life,
the podcast.
and I know that if it weren't for His hand upon me, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Maddie's life. If it weren't for the hand of God upon her life, she wouldn't be here. And having read all of y'all's stories, I know y'all's life as well. And if it weren't for the hand of God, none of y'all would be
No
here.
way.
Yeah.
No
And
way.
so you get in those moments, and you just, it is so easy to get lost in Thanksgiving for just His amazing grace that would save someone like me. And if He'll do it for me, He's no respecter person. He will do it for every single person that walks through those doors every single day, or even if they don't walk through the doors, whenever you bump into them or anybody out there in the world, He can do it for them as well. And so it's so beautiful and powerful and humbling at times. So, anyways, how about you guys? Either one of you three got something where you just get in your worship time, it's your go-to move in worship? Your go-to... You gotta speak into the mic.
Oh, sorry.
Close.
Well, I know. I don't know. Recently, like, the opportunities that I have to speak, I think it more pulls from just God's goodness, despite it's similar to what everybody else is saying, despite the circumstance that I'm in. So, and how faithful he's just been, and so he just you kind of have testimonies of that, and so that gets more vocal, I guess, in what I'm doing and what I'm saying. But also, I think maybe more of the desperation of how much I need him, and so not to take the moment that we're in for granted. Whether it's a prayer service or, whether it's a Sunday morning or whatever, just how I need this moment, how I need to connect, and how I need him to still move in my life, even, like with JD3, even though he's done with he's done with the infusions and whatever, there's still stuff I need God to do in my life, and I'm still that desperate. I need to be that desperate.
Yeah. You ladies, anything as you're worshiping, as you are in a heart of thanksgiving, it's kind of your go-to move these days?
Mine is just knowing that he is always there, that he never changes, that regardless of what season you're in, no matter what anything looks like, he's the standard. Like, just back to that plumb line. He never moves. You can always go to him. You'll never be too far away. He never leaves your side. And I just love that he's the word I'm looking for. He's my constant.
Amen.
And I put so much stock into that because I have been through a lot in my life. You've read my story, and I can't mention it because I get really upset because I wouldn't be here. And watching how he pursued me when I didn't even know him, when those stories came to life and I came to know him, he started connecting the dots. Like, I was with you when you didn't even know I was with you. And he pulled me out of that pit, but he did it again and again and again. And I love that. So he's just always there. And having faith, someone explained it to me, is jumping off a cliff and building the wings on the way down. And that is something that I don't want to have to look for that proof in front of my face.
Yeah.
Sorry, not jumping out of a plane anytime soon. Okay, Alex wants to do that with anybody just in case. But yeah, just knowing that I just have to believe, and I don't need to see it. So
Constant.
he's my constant.
What about you? Your time of worship. Caleb, I'm coming to you next, so be ready. No. What's your go-to move right now in worship?
Like, go-to move? When you say go-to move, that's what I thought. What is a move? I like this one.
Carry the big screen TV.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the big screen. I don't really like the little screen. The same thing like Sim and them said, just the goodness of God. And the constantness. Because there's times where when you battle mental health, he seems like, in moments, like he seems so far away, but every time you kind of get through those things, he's been there with you the entire time, because if he wasn't there, then I wouldn't have made it.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's so good.
B-Bub.
Just making sure it was on me. Yeah, I think when I get in worshipful moments, my immediate, like, my posture of praise is determined because of how unworthy I am. I've got no reason to be able to be offered what I'm offered and to have the job that I have, and the never-ending grace of God. I've messed up plenty of times, and I've messed up over and over, but the never-ending grace of God is always what keeps me back and always has me running back to him.
Amen. Yeah, it is. God is good, man. There is a reason why our church worships, and it's not because of good music, and it's not because of the songs we sing. It's because we're constantly pointing to a God who is deserving of praise and honor, and he is always deserving of a time of stepping outside of ourselves and saying, you deserve this. And the reason our church worships, not expressively, I'm not talking about like expressive worship, I'm talking about the reason our church has a heart of worship, and it is just, Thanksgiving is just what we do, is because we talk about it often. When good things happen, it's because of a good God. And in the middle of bad things, God is still good. And that doesn't change. He is good. He's good in the good seasons. He's good in the bad seasons. He's good in the dry seasons, and he's good in the seasons of overflow. He's just good. It's just who he is. And so as you focus on his always being faithful, always being good, always being, constant, always, just being who he is, as you focus on those things, then in the middle of those seasons, you're able to go, oh, okay, God, you're still worthy of praise. Okay, God, you're still worthy to be worshipped here in this moment, and I still have something to be thankful for. And for me, I learned at a very young age, I'll say a young teenager, I learned that, Thanksgiving is worship. Thanksgiving, it is an absolute powerful tool of spiritual warfare. And if I'm constantly telling Maddie how thankful I am for her, it's very hard for me to complain and gripe and grumble about her as I'm constantly telling her how thankful I am for her. And if we could just wrap our minds around that and let our heart be a heart of thanksgiving. And sometimes you're saying it out of almost a place of truth, and maybe your feelings aren't even attached to the truth, but you're just saying it because it's true. God, you're good. You're good not because I feel that you're good. You're good because you're good. It's just who you are, right? You're just good. God, you're faithful. You're faithful not because I may feel like you're 100 miles away from me, but you're faithful because that's who you are. And so then all of a sudden it becomes easier to just declare his goodness and to be thankful for who he is and what he's done in your life. And then you just walk around in a spirit of thanksgiving, and instead of the critical spirit that so many people walk around in today, you get to walk around in a spirit of honor to him and celebration to him and worship to him. And it will change your walk whenever that becomes a part of your spiritual warfare, to where you can say, okay, God, I'm going to worship. And it is going to be not something I do on Sunday mornings for an hour. It's going to be my life. I live a life of worship, a life of prayer in worship. And walk around, Maddie will tell you, from the time I wake up to, I'm walking around singing and celebrating. And I'm not doing that because I just like to sing. I'm doing that as spiritual warfare, where I'm just declaring stuff over my life, over my family, over my home. And it's I'm walking around in the office just singing, declaring the goodness of God, the truth of God, and celebrating who he is, because I know that if I'm not careful, I can become critical of things. And I want to make sure that when it's about mine and his relationship, that my critiques aren't I need to make sure my critiques are bathed in worship and praise and honor to him and who he is. So, anyway, just my thoughts. All right, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend, wonderful day, wonderful week. Make sure Caleb fusses at me every time. Make sure you hit here to subscribe.
We ain't that close on you. It's
where they at? Mama need to point to him?
Mama needs to point to him.
Right there. To subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Miss Monique's turn.
And what are we doing with her?
Most recent video.
Miss Monique, point to it right there. Boom.
Bingo.
Most recent video. And then
Now you can hit your catchphrase.
we'll see y'all later. God bless. Peace out. Let's go.